Hello everyone, and welcome into the CitrusTV studio for another week of Beat the Bookie. And if you don't know me, my name is Sean Dempsey, a true money maker at CitrusTV. We try and help people make money on market shares in their investment portfolios, but now it's time to try and make some money this week in arguably the best time of the year to sports bet. College hoops. But before you get me too excited, let's take a look at how our good friend Jish did this past week. And man, I really hope we do just a little bit better than Jish. Total profit of about $8, so still in the green. Biggest win was USA Moneyline versus Canada. Biggest loss was Penn versus Georgetown. But with that being said, let's take a look at our semester standings. Leading the way is Skylar Wilkes, holy cow, at $254 in profit. Former executive producer Jordan Leonard with a profit of about $8, Jish at just about $8 as well. And Gino also in the green, so a great semester so far on Beat the Bookie, and hopefully we can keep it going. Let's make some money.
Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money!
Let's begin taking a look at one of the biggest games of the week. Number 6 Tennessee versus number 7 Texas A&M, and in this one, give me $10 on the Aggies. The Aggies are at home in one of the toughest places to play in all of college basketball. In a big-time matchup like this one, I'm just going to take the home team. Also, I love the way Texas A&M is playing defensively this time of year. And yes, I know the Aggies did not look all that great against Mississippi State. I get it. This is yet another bounce-back spot for an SEC team that could potentially get a 1 seed in March Madness. Texas A&M is a fantastic rebounding team and shoots the ball over 42% from the field as well. Also, we have to put money on one of the biggest games of the entire season, and starting out, we have a Big 12 clash between number 5 Houston and number 8 Iowa State. Both of these teams have serious potential to win their conference. Both of these teams are on the 1 or 2 seed line in March Madness. However, give me $15 on Houston at -7.5. The Cougars are one of the best defensive teams in the country and thrive on slowing down the game just in general, creating turnovers and getting up high-quality shots. Let me tell you, I love what Kelvin Sampson is doing at Houston. His guys are completely bought into their style of play. They have 3 starting guards that shoot over 40% from beyond the arc, and their last loss at home was by 1 point to number 22 Texas Tech. Give me the Cougars in this one. And if there's one thing you need to know about me is that I love watching college hoops. Way more than college football, by the way. This week we have number 4 Alabama taking on number 17 Kentucky. This is the definition of a bounce back spot here for the Tide. Give me $10 on Bama to cover the spread. Nate Oates has done an incredible job turning this program around and dominating, and I mean dominating, the SEC. They play at one of the fastest paces in all of college basketball. They focus on 2 things and 2 things only: taking open threes and getting to the rim. 2 things they do the best at in all of college hoops. This team is led by guard Mark Sears, who is averaging 18 points per game and 5 assists. I think the Tide get it done over the Wildcats. But now let's check out what the producers have to say this week in their picks for these 3 big games. Let's look at the C-suite, and you can see there, funny picture there by the producing crew, but they agree with me with Bama. And they faded me on Houston, which we'll see what happens there. And they also faded me on Texas A&M as well. So interesting stuff there. As you can see, the C-suite is 6-4, but hopefully we can make some money as well. But we need to get to our best bets of the week. Let's start things off in the ACC in an interesting matchup between number 25 Louisville and Florida State. Give me $10 on the Cardinals to cover the 13.5-point spread against the Seminoles. The ACC is at an all-time low when it comes to simply a lot of things, one of those being competitive basketball teams that are going to make March Madness. But Louisville is sort of on the bubble right now and really can't afford an embarrassing home loss against a team like FSU. Chucky Hepburn leads Louisville with 15 points per game and 6 assists as well. I like the Cardinals to cover the spread and win this one easily in a spot they really just can't slip up in. And sticking with the ACC, let's take a look at number 3 Duke taking on Illinois. Give me $10 on the Blue Devils to cover the 10.5-point spread. Duke has proven so far this season to be one of, if not the top team in the entire country. The Cooper Flag hype is completely real. I watched him play in the Dome, and man, he can just flat out ball. He's the type of freshman that can carry this team to a national championship and has the hype of Zion Williamson. Illinois has fell flat in their last 2 matchups to Wisconsin and Michigan State. I think they fall flat again here against a team that's playing at a much higher level than they are right now. I can see Cooper putting up like 20 points and 8 rebounds, but even if he doesn't, his presence off the ball helps guys like Tyrese Proctor get open and just take over the game. But another matchup to look over is BYU going on the road to take on number 19 Arizona. These teams played about 2 weeks ago at BYU, and Zona won 85-74. Let's put $15 on Arizona to cover the spread. I don't see how Arizona loses this game at home in a must-win spot for them. If they want to be considered for, a top 4 or 5 seed in March Madness, you simply can't lose this game at home. Caleb Love is carrying the Wildcats with 16 points per game and 4 rebounds. BYU did just destroy Kansas, so I see the appeal here to take them, but in my eyes, Arizona at home is going to get it done and make us some serious money. But let's go back to the best conference in all of college basketball, the SEC. Vanderbilt welcomes number 24 Ole Miss to town and give me $10 on Vandy to take down the Rebels. Betting involves having some fun, and this is my fun bet. Vandy is on the bubble and at home in a very winnable game against a ranked opponent. This just smells like an upset. Vanderbilt has had a really tough last stretch of games, to be honest with you. Losses to Kentucky, Tennessee, Auburn, and Florida, but those are national championship contenders. Ole Miss is not. And shout out Carson Fowler for his Jason Edwards pick on the juicer on No Pulp. He's averaging 17 points per game and is going to lead his team to a win in this one. And when it comes to future bets, I'm looking at teams with good value. So we're going to put $10 on Texas A&M to make the Final Four at plus 750. Trust me, I already looked at Auburn and Duke, but the odds simply just aren't worth putting money on. Texas A&M at plus 750 gives us great value on an SEC team that is going to be a 2 seed or a 1 seed if they win the SEC tournament. Go big or go home on the Aggies and thank me when the committee gives them a perfect path to the Final Four. Now let's take a look at what everyone else is putting their money on. We have Skylar Wilkes here with Janai Broom to win the Wooden Award, Gino Antamarino to win the Big Ten for Michigan State men's basketball, Josh Sokolsky to win the Big Ten for men's lacrosse with Johns Hopkins, and then myself to have Texas A&M be in the Final Four. Finally, let's finish off with my parlay, which is where you're going to make the big bucks. First, let's start off with number 15 Missouri to cover against Arkansas. Unless you were living under a rock, you would have seen the Tigers scored 110 points against Alabama. I think they continue this momentum into this game against Arkansas on the road, and they cover the spread. They have 3 guards that can really score the basketball and shoot about 50% from the field. One of those is Mark Mitchell, who scored 31 points in the win over Bama. Next up, we have Mississippi State going on the road to take on Oklahoma. And despite ESPN's matchup predictor, which has this game at a coin flip, I really like Mississippi State to win this game outright. The Bulldogs just beat Texas A&M, who I've been raving about, and the Sooners have lost their last 5 games. Josh Hubbard leads the Bulldogs with 18 points per game and 36% from 3-point land. And finally, we are taking Wisconsin minus 7.5 against Oregon. The Badgers are on a roll right now, winning their last 5 Big Ten games. One of those was being at Purdue, who was top 10 at the time. The Ducks' last 3 wins have come against teams in the bottom half of the Big Ten. I think the home crowd for Wisco will be a big advantage for them in this one. Wisconsin is 13-1 this season on their home court, and hopefully they can make us some money. But now it's time to recap all of my picks. I'm going to take Texas A&M money line over Tennessee, and then also Houston spread over Iowa State. And then I think this is a great bounce back spot for Alabama over Kentucky, and then Louisville in a must-win spot over Florida State. And then also a little fun bet here with Vanderbilt money line against Ole Miss there as well. Then we have Duke to cover a pretty large spread against Illinois, and then putting $15 on Arizona. We really need them to beat BYU. Then Texas A&M to make the Final Four for my future pick there. And then obviously my parlay, which is going to cash. We all know that's going to happen. But that's all I have for you guys on this week of Beat the Bookie. Hopefully we win some money and stuff our pockets with cash. If we lose, well, don't blame me, and if you are smart, you might just want to fade all my picks altogether. Thanks so much for the producing crew for having me on, and most importantly, have a fantastic time watching college hoops this weekend. We are exactly 1 month away from March Madness. Have a great weekend, everyone.